What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. Today's video, we got a Shoutcast featuring XL's Spiritomb in the Ultra League with a Nidoqueen Mandibuzz core. Tried and true, very long ago, back in like Season 7 or something. This used to be the Prime core, as Nidoqueen in her Prime had Poison Fang every 5 poison jabs. It was quite ridiculous. But now, we got Spiritomb in the back to play in the Ultra League. Now that Sucker Punch has been buffed, this thing looks like it could be a menace. These battles were sent into the channel by ZT Smith 22. Thank you, trainer, for sending in the battles for Shoutcast. If you'd like to send in your own battles, trainers, there is a Google Doc in the description and the pinned comment that you can use to send in your games. And I'm sorry that I haven't been able to get to all of them. I do have quite a few, but I can only get so many done thanks to the new Tuesday rotations that Niantic has given us. So let's get into these games here with Nidoqueen on the lead in this first game into a Clefable. You couldn't ask for a better lead here. Opponent is staying in. Are they core broken by Nidoqueen? Trainer, why aren't you staying in and going for Swifts? Dude, Shadow Nidoqueen is going to rip this poor little Clefable apart, and honestly, if the opponent doesn't get out here, like, this is the best possible scenario for Mandibuzz and Spiritomb, to just stay as far away as possible from this Clefable. Bro, these poison jabs just ripping through this thing. Trainers, don't be ABA weak to Nidoqueen. It's not okay, because if you leave your fairy in, you're gonna have a bad time. Spiritomb's gonna save swap in immediately, resisting the Shadow, or not resisting, it's got Ghost typing. So Shadow Claws are neutral here, but the Hydro Cannon does a respectable amount of damage. Now, unfortunately, the Spiritomb has only nuke moves here, so to speak. Rock Tomb is a very expensive move, as is Shadow Ball, so it does take some it takes some time to get to these moves. That's what I'm trying to get to here. Opponent's gonna go for the Hydro Cannon here, and Feraligatr is now gonna have to deal with probably the Mandibuzz, quite honestly, because if the opponent has something in the back that's, you know, their third Pokemon has to be weak to Nidoqueen for them to have come in like and stayed in and let their Clefable get just destroyed like that. So let's see what the opponent has in the back. It is a Regirock. They are absolutely, completely and utterly defenseless against this Nidoqueen, as all of the moves from the Regirock's standard move pool here are resisted, unless they're running Earthquake, which is, I think is a legacy move for this thing? Maybe? But they're gonna have the Focus Blast. That is gonna do some respectable damage here, and the Poison Fang is going to almost be reached. But I think at this point, the Mandibuzz can simply just shield and go for the Dark Pulses here to take out, and then I don't think the Feraligatr is going to be able to get to enough energy. Get the 2 Dark Pulses before they get to, like, what do they need? Like 3, 4 Hydro Cannons at this point? It is Mandibuzz. I think like 4 Hydro Cannons, so the opponent is not going to be able to get to that many moves before the Mandibuzz gets to its second move, and that's going to be a good first game here. And yeah, dude, Nidoqueen, when you went, like, just do not disrespect Nidoqueen in any capacity, because she will rip you in half. Oh, hello, next game. Okay. Pretty positive lead, I would say, but we're going to go straight to the Spiritomb because the Spiritomb does resist the poison damage here, and I think this might just be an Acid Spray. So ZT Smith is looking to just let this go. Acid Spray is fine. Can we get to a Rock Tomb? Yes, we can. Rock Tomb. I love how the Best Buddies is just sitting there on the side. It's not even connected to Spiritomb whatsoever. Attack drop on the Muk. They have to go. They have to go for a Dark Pulse here, surely. Did they just go for another Acid? No, they go for the Dark Pulse here. That makes sense. I would have probably just gone for the... I mean, if you weren't intending on switching out as the Muk, I probably would have just gone for the Dark Pulse anyway. But the opponent is now forced to shield, and they have 2 attack drops now. And at this point, looks like ZT Smith is just happy to let this go. Dark Pulse will knock out the Spiritomb, and in comes the Nidoqueen to just make short work of this thing, as it's going to get the farm down, and the attack drops meant that even a Dark Pulse wasn't going to matter. Opponent has a Blastoise in the back, however. Hello, Spice. I like it. I respect the Blastoise here. Poison Fang gonna still do quite a sizable amount of damage, and in comes Mandibuzz here. Now, we don't know what the opponent has in the back. They've only revealed to us so far that they have the Muk and the Blastoise. So we're gonna see what they have in the back. The opponent does fire off the Ice Beam, doing some decent chunk damage to the Blastoise, and now we're gonna go for the Dark Pulse here. Blastoise is pretty tanky here in the Ultra League, and they do shield at the Dark Pulse, so we have to wonder if they're weak in the back to Mandibuzz as well. We'll have to see what they have in the back, because I think that's gonna really come down to whether or not they can handle what do we have here? So the opponent is going to go for another, probably an Ice Beam at this point. Hydro Cannon, Ice Beam. No, they go for the Hydro Cannon here. I mean, you could even bring in the You could even bring in, no, we're snarling down. Okay, I respect it. Oh, it's a Skeletor. Oh yeah, this is not good. Skeletor is not gonna have a good day. It's just gonna be able to go for 3 more snarls, get this move off. Doesn't even need to go for 3, honestly, because the opponent, you know, it's 3 snarls into the 2 incinerates, but that's still gonna be enough to knock out anyway, so it didn't matter. Good game. Okay, we're doing it all like this. I can't even hit the transition. All right, we get Clefable in the lead. The opponent this time safe swaps into the Goodra immediately and not letting their Clefable get completely torn to shreds by Nidoqueen, which is definitely the right play here. You don't want to be disrespecting Nidoqueen. I'm telling you, it's just not. It's not a good idea. Spiritomb is going to come in now and take advantage of the drop defense on the Goodra. Thunder Punch will do some damage. I wonder, is this an Aqua Tail Goodra or is this a Thunder Punch and Draco Meteor Goodra? We'll have to see. Looking to let this go anyway. ZT Smith is confident that he can live this Thunder Punch and farm down here, and he does. Very nice. Now it's going to come down to what they come in with here. Do they come in with the Clefable? I don't think it's even safe to go for the. I would have just gone for the Shadow Ball, because the thing is that the Rock Tomb does lower the attack, but the opponent can just swap out and clear this debuff. So I think that going for the Shadow Ball was overall probably the wiser decision, but we get switch advantage here. It doesn't really matter. Mandibuzz is going to have a very positive matchup into the Feraligatr, and Clefable is just not going to do much here against the against this Nidoqueen. Now, Nidoqueen could have overfarmed, I think, a little bit there and tried to maybe take this... I think either way, they're going to be able to farm down at this point anyway. I was thinking I might be over-farming, but I very vastly overestimated how much damage that Poison Fang was going to do. So, Poison Fang and Poison Jab farm down. Now Feraligatr is going to have to contest with this Nidoqueen. Does Nidoqueen bother to try and get this shield off? Yep, we're going to get the shield off here. And Poison Fang going for some extra fast move damage, maybe saving the Poison Fangs after this. No, just gonna go straight into the buzzard here. The opponent has no Pokemon remaining after this Feraligatr, so they cannot swap out to clear this defense drop. And at this point, a couple of aerial aces is honestly all they need, and the opponent knows it, and they concede. Good game. Ooh, shiny Pangoro, bro. I love it. Unfortunately, Nidoqueen is also very positive into this thing, is because the opponent is only able to go for Night Slashes and deal resisted damage with the Karate Chops. Night Slashes do quite a bit. Haha, you said doo-doo. Night Slashes do quite a bit of chip damage here, though, but Poison Fang is going to start to add up very quickly. The opponent comes in with a Feraligatr, looking to catch the Hydro Cannon on the Mandibuzz, making a very nice swap here to redirect that energy into a better place. The opponent going to be having a tough time in an uphill climb with this Mandibuzz in front of them here, going for the Dark Pulse now, as this would do neutral damage, but it's a Shadow Gator. It would do quite a bit of neutral damage here, and opponent is going to be probably trying to reach for the Ice Beam. But since they stayed in with the Pangoro, do we make a read here? Okay, I was maybe thinking that they would go for the Ice Beam and knock out the Mandibuzz, but I was thinking that only because Nidoqueen seems like it's probably good against whatever's in the back. The opponent, there it is, Clefable in the back, man. That's all you can ask for. Now the opponent's probably going to get a full farm down on this Clefable, so this may be bad. I don't know that this is a good idea for ZT Smith here to stay in and let them farm down, because Nidoqueen is missing, like, a couple of Meteor Mashes here would do quite a lot, and Spiritomb is not going to have a good time against this Pangoro. So Moonblast is going to get a shield, and now it's an uphill climb for Nidoqueen as she needs to put the rest of the team, typically just put the Spiritomb just right on her head. I was saying maybe put it on her back, or just put it right on her head. That would be that's like a terrestrialized with Spiritomb. We're just going to come in with the Spiritomb here, it looks like, and we're just going to kind of sack it. I don't think that there's really any use for Spiritomb into the rest of this team. The opponent can simply just go for Night Slashes here, and then by doing so, though, it also puts the Spiritomb in a position where it can either throw a move, or it could possibly just let the Pangoro use all of its energy, give Nidoqueen some extra farm here with the rest of the Pangoro's HP bar, which is what looks like to happen. And there's some frame drops! We love frame drops! Because it's an Android phone, of course. Now, if y'all have footage recorded of frame drops, I'm planning to try and make a video out of some of that stuff, so please, if you guys have any of that footage, I would love it. Just send it to me in the Google Doc for the Shoutcast in the description here. Next lead, terrible matchup into a Gengar. Love that we're seeing Gengar come back. The opponent now comes up with a Virizion. This is actually not terrible, but it's kind of awkward for the Virizion because they have to throw the oh, they have Stone Edge. All right, well, they have a Stone Edge Virizion. That makes it considerably less awkward because then they could just go for any move at this point and knock out. But this Shadow Ball does do quite a bit of damage, but this is going to allow Nidoqueen to get some more farm, but the opponent over farming by way too much here and allows Spiritomb to get to the Shadow Ball to flip switch advantage possibly or get a shield. Now this is fine. You just simply just let this go. Nidoqueen farms down. You can certainly try to get another shield here with the Nidoqueen going for the Earth Power, or you just go straight into the Mandibuzz. The opponent giving up switch advantage was the worst mistake they could make. When you see Nidoqueen or any other poisons on the lead, you should reasonably assume that there's probably going to be some kind of dark type in the back, maybe two, especially if you see something like Nidoqueen. She just pairs so well with the dark type. So Dark Pulse is going to just completely destroy it, and the opponent has a Cresselia left now. This is going to be fine for the Mandibuzz because I think it could still live a Moonblast if they have it. Even could just slide the Nidoqueen in here, quite honestly, and let her go to work because now the hardest counter to Nidoqueen on this team is gone. The opponent giving up switch advantage there when they had such positive when they just had such positive matchup, it would have been much better for them to maintain switch and keep the Nidoqueen on the keep it on the Gengar. That would have been the play there for the opponent. But now the opponent is gonna have a bad time here, as they're gonna end up having to take some Poison Fangs. And if the opponent doesn't have Future Sight with which to get rid of this Nidoqueen, it might take a little bit more doing here. The opponent has the Grass Knot, and that is not farm down range, unfortunately, for this opponent. They are gonna have to shield up this Poison Fang, or they're gonna lose the game. And then here comes the Mandibuzz to get the Dark Pulse in for the win. That's gonna be a good game here, taking advantage of the opponent's unfortunate. Like, if you have really good, let me just pause this real quick and kind of explain why I was talking about it the way I was, right? Because as Gengar, you double resist the poison damage, and the Nidoqueen is forced to go for Earth Power, right? So by getting switch advantage there with the Virizion, I get wanting to swap out so that it'll get farmed down, but like the Virizion was so low that the Nidoqueen could have farmed down but not had too much energy advantage, and the Gengar then comes in, maintains that very positive matchup, and then forces ZT Smith here to go into his Mandibuzz, for which they didn't really have the strongest of answers. But nonetheless, though, keeping the alignment of the Gengar on the Nidoqueen was a much more positive game decision, because then it forces the Mandibuzz to deal with the Cresselia with its Moonblast, instead of allowing Mandibuzz to just completely abuse the Gengar and get a bunch of energy off of it. So getting into the next game here. We're going to have a Cresselia on the lead, and ZT Smith is looking to make an immediate pivot into the Spiritomb, but the opponent looks like they may have lagged, but then everything just kind of cowed up. It's good old state of the game stuff, you know? So Shadow Ball, though, the opponent's staying in way too long here to tank that move. Maybe they're just not very familiar with Spiritomb, which, I mean, I'm not, so I don't blame them, but definitely never want to stay in with Cresselia against something like a Ghost type or Spiritomb. Now, Spiritomb also has super effective Rock Tomb to deal with the Golisopod in front of it. The opponent does respect this damage, but they are going to be forced to take a debuff to their attack stat. That means that Spiritomb now can just go, let it go if they want to. The opponent's going to go for the X-Scissor here, and I think at this point, you just, Nidoqueen comes in, can shield once if it needs to, but even then, I don't think you even need to shield. Like, Mandibuzz could do very well here, but the opponent is going to go for that Aerial Ace, so they don't even have to shield another move if the opponent gets to one. That's okay. They don't have Liquidation. That's the only thing that Nidoqueen would have been worried about here in this matchup. Aerial Ace, not going to do a ton after that Rock Tomb debuff. Wouldn't have even done a whole lot, honestly, beforehand. I wonder if they just stay in, though. They could have stayed in, but they're looking to not get any extra damage on the Nidoqueen here. Maybe the Grass Knot comes through, and the opponent does instantly throw the Grass Knot, and it gets caught, and in comes a Tentacruel. This is going to be a very neutral matchup here. I don't know what... Huh? Did we skip? What happened? Niantic, get your game. Fix your game, please. Please. Now, the opponent, I don't know if that was enough for the Blizzard. I don't think it was. We'll see. ZT Smith is going to look to take it. It's just the Scald here. No attack drop, thankfully. Opponent not able to get to their next Scald, and the Mandibuzz is just looking to go for as many Dark Pulses as it can, as the opponent's Cresselia is out of energy and very low at this point. Can get a free Snarl as the opponent throws on alignment. And the shield goes up here for the Mandibuzz. They're looking to get this move off here and get the final shield from the Tentacruel. And the game looks like it's stuttering a bit. The frame drops are back in action, trying to make you miss those bubbles. And in comes the Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen gets the farm down and is going to be able to get to 2 Poison Fangs, and the opponent concedes. Good game. All right, Skeletor's in the next game. Now we're looking to get one poison jab head start, and this is something that I get asked once in a while is, when do I go for that one move into this Incinerate user before switching? And the only time that I would do that is if your energy matters, right? So in this case, the Earth Power does matter in this matchup, and the opponent staying in here is a very strange indeed. So they're looking to go and try and get rid of the Spiritomb, but Spiritomb honestly doesn't, I mean, Disarming Voice is gonna, how does that not knock out? I'm sorry, what? How does that not, gosh dang. That is a bulky Spiritomb, dude. That is bulkier than I thought it would be. But Nidoqueen with that Shadow is gonna, with the Shadow boosted Poison Jab, is gonna be able to get a farm down, even if it takes a Shadow Ball here. It's just a Disarming Voice, perfectly executed here. And the opponent has Gallade in the back, and even though the opponent has the Psychic Fast Moves, super effective fast move pressure here with Cycle Cut, it's just, there goes the shield. Gallade is just way too frail to be able to do much here. They are just going to go for close combats, I imagine, and then the Aerial Ace could knock out or come close to it with that debuff, but the opponent now has a Pangoro, so now it's going to be down to Mandibuzz going for these Aerial Aces. The opponent having two fighting types in the back is probably not going to be very good for them, as this Mandibuzz looks to go for Aerial Ace after Aerial Ace at this point, and just shielding once in case this is the close combat. It's, huh? Bro, Iron Head, hold on a minute. Now, I didn't know the Pangoro could learn Iron Head. That's actually kind of saucy. I like it. That's a good coverage option to deal with fairy types, to be honest. Now, going in here to catch the move potentially, opponent's not able to get to a move, and in comes the Nidoqueen. The opponent does have enough energy for a Synchronoise, but they have Leaf Blade instead, which probably just makes more sense. ZT Smith just looking to go for the Poison Fang here, maybe for that Poison Fang and farm down. The opponent is basically forced to throw their energy if they have it, but they can't get the farm down, and that's a good game. Great lead in the next game here with an Obstagoon versus the Nidoqueen. Bro, my brain just goes, it just shut off like mid-sentence. I don't know, man. But poison typing here on Nidoqueen is good, and Obstruct is not going to do too much for this Obstagoon, as with every single defense up it gets a defense down by the Poison Fangs, and because it's still running counter, the pacing on counter is now significantly worse than last season, where these moves now I believe will take 6 counters and 7 counters for the first Obstruct, and Nidoqueen just resists the damage, and Obstruct is doing really nothing. Night Slash can do some chunk damage here, but Nidoqueen just gets the farm down, and it's going to come down to what's in the back. Let's see what the opponent has. A Giratina, and in comes the Spiritomb. Nidoqueen is going to bank the energy, and the opponent has a Alolan Muk and a Giratina in the back. Now this is going to be probably, not even probably, I think that Mandibuzz can just clean this game up here, as the Muk is going to get worn down by the Spiritomb, and Nidoqueen can finish off this Muk with Mandibuzz being able to cleanly handle the Giratina. So this is already looking like a good game here, but Spiritomb is going to be able to flex its Rock Tomb ability, and I think it's going to be up to ZT Smith if he wants to shield here, but I don't think he needs to, honestly. Just getting this Muk down, that wasn't even a pulse, man. They went for the spray. Oh, trainer, no, don't do that. Going straight into the Nidoqueen, but the opponent calls it, and they go into the Giratina now as an attempt to try and thwart the energy off of the Nidoqueen, and they're going to get a full farm down here. Now, this isn't going to matter too much because it's Mandibuzz, right? Mandibuzz just comes in here and just outbulks the rest of the team, and the opponent's going to go straight for a move here just to try and get some chip damage and whatever comes in. Now, Ancient Power is the right move to go for the opponent. No boost here, but they have a ton of energy, being able to send off a bunch of Ancient Powers here. That is, I mean, yeah, you're going to have to shield at least one of these. Hopefully, the opponent is fishing for that boost, though, and in comes the Muk here to attempt to get to another Acid Spray, maybe to try and make those Ancient Powers hit just a little bit harder. But now it's going to... Nice. That was a nice catch. Now the Acid Spray is going to land on the Spiritomb, and Spiritomb just shrugs it off and says, good try, but now Mandibuzz can farm down here and have 2 Dark Pulses ready to go almost for the Giratina, and that's pretty much looking like a good game here. I would have liked to see him go for one more Snarl just to get Guarantee or up at the back-to-back, but I don't think the opponent is really going to have any choice here regardless. Now what in the heck was that? That looked like 3 Shadow Claws in the time it took for us to get to 1 Snarl. That is not how that is supposed to work. No, there was lag for sure. Niantic, fix your game, please. Anyway, a good game. We take that out. Well played. Nidoqueen and Negator, not a great lead here for the Nidoqueen here, and we're going to see the Spiritomb pop in, try and start flexing some of its damage. Opponent banks the move for later, and comes in with what is supposed to be the hardest counter to their Dark types. Now, this is exactly what Spiritomb, and if you want to run a team like this, you don't have to run Spiritomb. Obviously, that's, you know, not a very accessible Pokemon here, but a lot of players from, you know, seasons past may have Nidoqueen and Mandibuzz. You could put really any poison here in the lead for Nidoqueen. You could certainly put like Tentacruel would be probably the most obvious one here, and then Mandibuzz is solid as it is what it does. But as far as safe swaps go, if you're looking for any poisons, right, you could like throw. I would almost say that if you're going to use a poison lead, try to avoid a dark poison like Nidoqueen on the like Drapion on the safe swap, because that makes you very weak to mud slappers, and I've seen more than enough of them to say that they are a thing to keep in mind as you play. But other than that, like a good solid dark type safe switch, right? So I want to say Umbreon because it really does seem like it could be solid, but Umbreon unfortunately just isn't in the cards anymore. I'd have to go, you know, pull up PvPoke, honestly. What? Holy mother of frame drops, bro! How many moves did we throw? I don't even know what just happened. But Malamar is gonna come in here with a really strong Psywave, super effective fast moves that are just eating right through the Nidoqueen here. I don't know. Is Mandibuzz gonna be? No, I don't think Mandibuzz has enough HP, dude. I don't know. The opponent's just getting to a move here. Malamar is just cooking this team right now. Yeah, you needed the Spiritomb for the Malamar. That's going to pretty much be over. Not even enough. There's not enough in the defense drops for this. Opponent is going to be able to win this game here with that Malamar. Good game. I don't have a Malamar, but Malamar actually would be a good safe swap if you have one. Picking up another terrible lead here. We have the Walrein. Spiritomb's going to pop in, and the opponent comes up with Giratina, and they're going to find out why that was a very bad idea, as there's nothing that this Giratina can do to flip switch. Now, whether or not that could have been a reactionary swap to try and maintain switch advantage on the Nidoqueen, or it could have just been a misclick, depending on what the opponent's third is. I've done it too. You know, I think all of us have misclicked or done something that we just like, man, I should have brought in the other thing. But being able to get to this Rock Tomb is going to be very, very bad for this Walrein. The opponent is making a very nice attempt at counting here. They did it very well. Like, they threw right before the Spiritomb got to this move, but Spiritomb is looking to get rid of the Walrein because the Walrein core breaks the rest of the team, and now Walrein is poised to be able to do some real problematic damage here. But now the opponent makes a swap in to the Cresselia, seeing that the Walrein has value into this backline, not even knowing what it is. But the opponent having the Cresselia here, they have the ability to possibly hit with super effective Moonblast, but it's gonna hit, they do have the Moonblast, okay. I was gonna say it comes down to whether or not they have the Moonblast in the first place, because I know that some may not, but Moonblast is like, that's the de facto move that you just have to have for Cress, I think, to let it do most of what it does. But the Mandibuzz here can just go for Dark Pulses and put a lot of pressure on this Cresselia and be able to potentially even take it out here. Going for this Aerial Ace before the opponent throws their next move here. So, you know, throwing timing out the window to try and get this damage off. The opponent lets it go, and in comes the that's not a Feraligatr, goodness, that's a Walrein, and they're going for the Rock Tomb here to finally get that last shield. And now with a shield advantage, can the Nidoqueen with full HP get to the move? Not if the frame drops have anything to say about it. Letting this first move go here is the way. I think Icicle Spear gonna do a lot of damage, but I think that you have to shield this one. Hopefully the opponent doesn't get to a third, because the third would come very, very close to knocking out. Is this Poison Fang gonna be enough? I think at this point it is. Nidoqueen looks to win CMP over the Walrein, and Walrein going down to the Poison Fang, even though that was a terrible core breaking lead. ZT Smith pulling out a win against that one. That was very impressive. Spiritomb, man, I have a 14, 15, 14 Spiritomb, and I wish I had the XLs because it looks like a ton of fun to run in the Ultra League. But again, thank you very much, ZT Smith, for the game submissions, and hopefully you guys had some fun in the Ultra League. I know the Master League and the Psychic Cup are coming in rotation today, and if you are keeping track of the videos on the channel, I will have a meta guide for the Psychic Cup coming up later this afternoon before the cup rotates in. So that's going to do it for me for this video, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you later on today in the Psychic Cup video. Thank you. Bye-bye.